TV. I am not black.
The Egyptian taught, spelled T-A-U-T, for many years has been misunderstood, and rightfully so. Imagine carnal men and women attempting to understand symbolism from a time when men and women, the Egyptians in this case, had such a high level of consciousness and understanding of things, which was and still is today far beyond ours. The thought has a cycle of 12 chambers. All 12 together represent what is called the outer darkness or the underworld, the place where the soul descends to experience life in a material vessel, the realm of matter, third dimensional plane, specifically Earth in our case. The soul descends into a vessel which is called involution. When the mind or the cause of mind, which is the source, decides that a spark of itself is to attain a celestial body of fire by transmuting darkness into light in a third dimensional zone. The mind takes on a soul and descends onto what the Egyptians called the underworld or the thought. The thought has 12 chambers representing the affliction awaiting the spirit when it begins to walk through the valley of death, as the Bible calls it. Each chamber is represented by an animal or a beast, each depicting the affliction the soul will face internally within self and externally by the archons. The attribute of the animal or beast represent the type and even the time of the affliction. The crocodile, the cat, the dog, the serpent, the bull, the boar, the bear, the basilisk, the vulture, 7 dragons, 7 cats, the 7 dog-faced ones. For the purpose of this message, we will speak on chamber number 7, the bear. The bear, this symbolizes man and woman's affliction by the streaming of negative thought forms, or Satan, as the Bible puts it. These thought forms are to be overcome or transmuted in a particular lifetime or multiple incarnations. The bear is also called Behemoth in the book of Ezra. The 4th book of Ezra, chapter 6. Then you kept in existence 2 living creatures. The name of one you called Behemoth, and the name of the other Leviathan. The bear or Behemoth represents the fallen programming zone, Ursa Major and Ursa Minor. Its rulers are Mizar and Megrez, which are connected to Lucifer or fallen light. Lucifer spelled with a U-R. U-R or meaning light. And in this case, fallen light that has weakened the nations. Isaiah 14:12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning, which did weaken the nations? In the pyramid of Giza in the king's chamber, there are 2 shafts, one that aligns with Orion and the other that aligns with Draco or the bear. The bear is recognized with the time of limitation, the fallen light, Lucifer, also called Set by the Egyptians. This is the time when man, meaning man and woman, is heavily restricted. The archons are not allowing light to come down into our zone. The soul becomes stagnant, trapped in a cycle of reincarnation. Therefore, there is no light returning upward, no evolution, no resurrection. This was not the plan of the Most High. And this was for 6,480 years, from 4,480 BC up until the year 2000. The year 2000, when the light returned, and the firmament began to move like the hands of a clock to usher in the time of light, the return of the Holy Spirit, the Shekinah, Miriam, wine, bread, manna, dew, in tandem with the office of Christ, Christ consciousness. The time of Aquarius was upon us, when the man with the bucket or the pitcher of water began to pour it out on the sons and daughters of men, but not all at once, a little here and a little there. 2015, the first wave of spirits on earth awakened. Whatever they were doing at that time that was in opposition to law, they dropped it and began to seek other spiritual and righteous ways of understanding and living. Humanity as a whole has been limited, both spiritually and physically, but the Adamic race or the Semitic race has been affected the most, being that this race of people, man and woman, were appointed Lord of the earth in the beginning, and they are the chosen people. 2 Ezra 6:54. And after these, Adam also whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. Adam is not a man, but a race of people, male and female, who were made Lord of the earth. And they are the chosen people. They are the copper-colored race. Don't be confused. The verse states that Adam came from us all. because the book is talking to the seed of Adam today, that Hebrew bloodline, not all nations, Hamite or Gentile. It is the book of Shem. Adam was Lord of the earth, then came the time of the bare and limited light. Then the Adamic race became afflicted, first through their own doing, via deviation from law. They were passed through the hands of the Canaanite, who morphs in every society of the Dark Ages, who then eventually passed them, the true Semitic people, into the hands of who once were their servants and handmaids, the Gentile, the Caucasian. Lamentations 5 and 7. Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have borne in their iniquities. Our progenitors have sinned and violated law, thus created these imbalances internally and externally, and they have died and their injustices have fallen on our shoulders. Lamentations 5 and 8. Servants have ruled over us. There is none that does deliver us out of their hands. The ones who were once our servants and handmaids, specifically the Gentile Caucasian, now rules over us. And this verse is a depiction of us in this present day, begging and lamenting in the book of Lamentations to be freed. Now the time is here. At the end of this transition period, you will rule over your oppressors, the Canaanites and the Gentiles. Isaiah chapter 14, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them, and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for their servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Now back to Adam. This red or copper-colored people, Adam meaning red or copper-colored, reference to red dirt. This race stems from the red race of the Atlanteans that no longer exists. The Negro is the posterity of this divinely connected race of people. We will touch on this Atlantean race in another time. Physically, they have celestial bodies as opposed to the other races of men having terrestrial or telestial bodies, which are limited in processing light. These bodies do not have all the faculties and channels as the celestial bodies, which was made in the image of God, as was referenced to the Negro by Roquette's Encyclopedia. Number 4, the Negro. Many names and slangs for the Negro. One of them is called the image of God. Negro, not to be confused with the darker skinned Hamite, which is similar in complexion and features, but are not the same. Ham, he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negro. Humanity as a whole, and specifically this copper-colored race of people who have been hidden and thought worthless over the years, will be moved back into their rightful position. The tail is moving to the head, and the head is moving to the tail. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such who have afflicted him, and made no account for his labors. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of the spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and proverb of reapproach. From 1619 to 2013 was the beginning and the end of the affliction. I know everyone accounts for 1619 to 2019, but there's a discrepancy between 360 days versus 365.5 days, Gregorian man-created days, days that have not been accounted for. Remember, the scriptures say they will seek to change time. There is basically 2 different times running at the same time. I explained the math in detail in one of my earlier messages. I will not do it at this moment. So 2013 marked the actual heavenly time accounted for, as to the end of the 400 years of affliction to the children of Israel. 2015, these fallen people had come on to the wilderness, from being the dry bones from the place of the desert. Wilderness is a reference to a spiritual place attained to no physical man, but only by the Spirit. Definition of wilderness: uninhabited by human beings. Revelation 12 and 4, and to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and a times, and a half a time, from the face of the serpent. 2015 marked a transition period from the 400 years of affliction. This is the stage when the first wave of spirits on earth began to wake up. Exodus 6 and 1, and they took their journey from Alem, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came unto the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elam and Sinai. The time and dates of these events are given to you in the Bible, but only the initiate or initiates of our time can open it up unto you. Exodus 6:1. On the 15th day of the second month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. The 15th day, day is really a year, and the second month, month meaning millennium, together is the year 2015. Then came the solar eclipse in 2017, the arrival of the Spirit of Truth, the arrival of the Son of Man, or the Messiah, or the messenger who is here among us, and must first raise his serpent before the rest can rise. John 16:13, howbeit when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you unto all truth, for he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall speak and hear, shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. Numbers 21:9, and Moses made a serpent of brass, and put it on a pole, and it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld the serpent of brass, he lived. He must first move from Jacob, his dead state, by raising the serpent or the regenerative seed. Of course, he is among the people. He came in the same state as the people he is to free. He moved from Jacob to Israel before the group of people who awaken and eventually become the tribe of Israel. When these people have awakened from their dead state, Genesis 32:28, and he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For a prince thou hast power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. But even before the Son of Man appears, Judah must come first. Zechariah 12:7. The Lord shall also save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. Judah is the law. Genesis 49:10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh, which is the Son of Man, the Messiah, come. And unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Judah is the great army, the light of Israel, the elect, the saints, the leader of Israel. Why is Judah the light? Numbers 2:9. All that were numbered in the camp of Judah were 100,000 and 80,000 and 6,400 throughout their armies. These shall first set forth. The tribe of Judah, 100,000, 80,000, 6,400, 186,400. This is the speed of light, or the velocity of light. The velocity of light in air was 299.7 million meters per second. This is about 186,400 miles per second. Judah will come first at the beginning of the transition period, reestablishing the law. They are the light. They are the leaders. Again, Israel is not a land. Israel is code for the Son of Man, or the Messiah. Israel is a man. Psalms 25:22, redeem Israel, O God, out of all his troubles. Psalms 89:18, for the Lord is our defense, and the Holy One of Israel is our King. In Genesis 22:28, he is the prince. In Psalms 89:18, he has become the king. He must regenerate the same way you do, but he will be the first to do so. Exodus 6:5, and it shall come on to pass on the sixth day they shall prepare, which they bring in. Exodus 6:5 further explains that from 2015 plus another 6 days, actually meaning 6 years, which brings you to 2021, you shall begin to bring in. This is also the 7-year Passover, which starts at 2021. Exodus 6:5, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. The spirit or the cosmic ray will double twice as much at the start of the year, on and after 2021. Not Gregorian, but the Hebrew New Year in the month of Nisan, the Lunar New Year, March and April. Haggai 2:1. In the 7th month, in the 1 and the 20th day of the month, came the word of the Lord by the prophet Haggai. Haggai 2:1. In the 7th Hebrew month, which is the solar New Year, Tishri, in the 1 and 20th day, meaning the 21st year, after the start of Aquarius, the year 2000. Of the month, meaning millennium. Notice the month has a different font. It has a different meaning. Now continue. This year came the word, which is the regenerative seed, And the people of Israel who are ready to regenerate their seed will enter into a 7-year Passover. You are ready by the fast and the preparation of the mind and the body. Remember, this light is wine, and you must renew the mind and the body to attune with it. Matthew 9:17, neither do men put new wine into old bottles, else the bottles break. Now the solar eclipse of 2024 this year is coupled with the passing of a comet. They both pass on the Hebrew New Year, April 8th, which is unheard of at our time. 3 heavenly signs in one day. Luke 21:25, and there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of all nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Luke 21:28, and when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for redemption is near. Aaron and Miriam, one separated, are joined together along with the former rain, and the latter cosmic rain, and together for the purpose of regeneration. Joel 2:23, be glad then, ye children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord your God, for he hath given you former rain moderately, and he will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain, and the latter rain in the first month, which is the month of Nisan, March and April. Now, it is your responsibility to absorb this light that's coming to you. To do this, you must release negative thoughts, negative emotion, the negative environment, and replace this vacancy with the light that's coming in. Replace one energy for another. Change one polar frequency for another, because you cannot put new wine into old bottles. Use this time now up until April to release all negative attributes within self, so you can have these vacancies filled with new energy. And for those who have not listened or ignored my messages on food, you need to clear up your food and eat the food that will
TV, I am not black.